Welcome to Everyday English in Canada. This is the place where you can improve your English step by step with clear explanations and real-life examples. If you're new here, make sure to stay with us until the end of the video, because today's lesson will help you speak more naturally and confidently in English. Before we begin, don't forget to support our channel. Like this video if you find it useful. Share it with your friends who are also learning English. Leave a comment below and tell us what topics you'd like to see next. And of course, subscribe to our channel Everyday English in Canada so you don't miss any of our future lessons. Now let's get started with today's topic, there to be in the present. In this lesson, we are going to dive deep into one of the most fundamental structures in English, there to be. It is a structure that may look simple at first glance, but it is everywhere in real conversations. If you want to understand English speakers and communicate naturally, you need to master how to use there is and there are, how to form negatives, how to ask questions, and how this little structure makes conversations flow smoothly. So let's begin. The meaning of there to be. When we use there to be, we are not talking about a place called there. We are not saying there as in over there. Instead, there is just a way to introduce the existence of something. Think of it like this. There is means something exists. There are means some things exist. So there is a book on the table simply tells us a book exists on the table. There are 3 people in the room tells us 3 people exist in the room. This structure helps us introduce things. It is like opening the door to a topic. Instead of saying a book is on the table, we say there is a book on the table. Both are correct, but there is more natural when we want to point out something new. The basic forms. In the present tense, we have 2 main forms. There is, singular. There are, plural. Examples. There is a cat outside. There are 2 cats outside. It is that simple. But of course, the more you listen to English, the more you realize that we use contractions, short forms, and very natural rhythm in conversation. Contractions. In real conversations, we almost never say there is. We say there's. Listen carefully. There's a problem. There's a new message on your phone. There's a restaurant near here. This is how people really speak. There is sounds too formal, too slow, unless you want to emphasize something. For there are, we don't really have a common contraction. But in fast speech, people sometimes say something like there are. However, it is not common in writing, so focus on there's as your main contraction. Negative form now. How do we say that something does not exist? We simply add not. There is not a problem. There are not many people here. But again, in real life, we use contractions. There isn't a problem. There aren't many people here. Listen again. There isn't is very common. There aren't is also common. But sometimes learners find it difficult to pronounce. You have to connect the sounds. There aren't. Practice slowly. There aren't. Questions. When we want to ask questions, we just change the order. Is there a problem? Are there any questions? Is there a supermarket near here? Are there many students in the class? Notice how natural this is. It is the same structure, just reversed. Is there? Are there? This is how English speakers ask about existence, availability, or presence. Everyday uses. Now let's see how this works in real life. Imagine you arrive at a hotel. You want to know if they have a free room. You can ask, is there a room available tonight? At the airport, you may need help. You ask, is there a bus to the city? When you are in a new town, you want to know about services. You might ask, is there a bank near here? Is there a pharmacy on this street? And when you talk about groups of things, are there any restaurants around here? Are there good places to eat? Are there many tourists in this area? This is how there to be connects directly to your daily life. The word any. You may have noticed that I often use the word any in questions and negatives. That is because in English, when we ask, are there, we usually add any. Are there any shops open now? Are there any chairs in the room? Are there any messages for me? And in negatives, there aren't any shops open now. There isn't any sugar in the kitchen. This combination, there is, are with any, is extremely natural in English. A closer look at conversation, let's build a short dialogue.
Is there a park near here?
Yes, there's one about 10 minutes away.
Great. Are there any cafes inside the park?
Yes, there are 2 small cafes.
Perfect. Thanks.
See how this flows? The whole conversation is built around there is and there are. Another dialogue.
Are there any free tables?
Sorry, there aren't any right now.
Oh, okay. Is there a waiting list?
Yes, there is. Would you like to add your name?
This is exactly how real-life conversations work. Quantity expressions. We often use there is, there are with words of quantity. There is a lot of traffic today. There are many people in the park. There are some problems with the system. There isn't much time. There aren't many buses on Sundays. Notice the combinations. There is plus uncountable nouns, traffic, water, time. There are plus countable plural nouns, people, cars, shops. This is an essential distinction. Spoken rhythm now. Let's focus on the rhythm of speech. In English, theirs is very quick. We don't stress it. There's a new message. There's a car outside. There's someone at the door. It's almost like one word. So if you want to sound natural, practice saying it smoothly. Common mistakes. Learners often make these mistakes using the wrong form. They say, there is 2 books, but it should be, there are 2 books. Forgetting contractions. They say, there is a big problem in casual speech. It's correct, but too formal. Native speakers say, there's a big problem, using have instead of there is. Some learners say, has a bank near here, because in their language that's correct. But in English we must say, there is a bank near here. Practice with examples. Now let's practice. Imagine you are walking through a city. You look around and describe what you see. There are many tall buildings. There is a big square in the center. There are lots of people walking. There's a fountain with water. There are some kids playing. Now imagine you are at home. You want to describe your room. There is a bed near the window. There is a desk with a computer. There are 2 chairs. There are some books on the desk. There isn't a TV in the room. This is how you can use there to be to describe surroundings. Mini story for listening. Let me tell you a short story using there to be. Last night, I went to a new restaurant. There were many people outside waiting, but inside, There was a very cozy atmosphere. There were candles on the tables. There was music playing softly. There were waiters moving quickly, and there was delicious food everywhere. Do you hear how natural it is? This structure builds the entire description. Expanding your skills. If you want to be more advanced, start adding expressions. There's going to be a concert tomorrow. There's always something interesting here. There are usually a lot of people in the morning. Even though we are focusing on the present tense today, notice that there to be connects to all tenses. We will explore those later, but for now, focus on the present. Practice. Questions. Let me ask you some questions. Pause after each question and try to answer. Is there a supermarket near your house? Are there many books in your room? Is there a bus stop near your school or work? Are there any good restaurants in your neighborhood? Is there a park in your town? Answering these will help you practice. Dialogue. Simulation. Imagine you are a tourist. You arrive in a new city. You ask the receptionist at your hotel. Excuse me, is there a bank near here? Receptionist. Yes, there's one across the street. Great. Are there any supermarkets around? Receptionist. Yes, there are 2 on the next block. Perfect. Thank you very much. This is exactly how travelers use English. Summary. So far, let's quickly summarize what we have covered so far. There is prak singular. There are prach plural. Use contractions. There's, there isn't, there aren't. Questions. Is there? Are there? Use any in questions and negatives. Combine with quantity words. A lot of, many, some, much. Use it in descriptions and real conversations. We are building a strong foundation. Practice with variations. Let's play with variations. Affirmative. There is a good movie on TV tonight. Negative. There isn't a good movie on TV tonight. Question. Is there a good movie on TV tonight? Plural. There are good programs on TV. There aren't good programs on TV. Are there good programs on TV? This type of practice makes the structure automatic. Listening. Challenge now. Listen to this description. Try to picture it in your mind. In the park, there are children playing. There are parents sitting on benches. There is a man walking his dog. There are 2 cyclists passing by. There's music coming from a speaker. There isn't much noise, only happy sounds. This is how there to be paints a picture. More complex sentences. As your English grows, you can use longer sentences. There's a new restaurant that serves Italian food. There are many people who love traveling. There isn't a single reason to worry. Are there any places where we can sit, see? How flexible it is. Cultural note. Native speakers use there is are all the time. In fact, if you listen to any casual conversation, you will notice it appears again and again. That is why mastering it is essential. Transition. We have explored the basics of there to be in the present tense. We practiced affirmatives, negatives, questions. We listened to dialogues and descriptions, and we saw how it connects to real life. But this is just the beginning. In the next part, We are going to move to another level. We will explore there to be in the past tense. You will see how there was and there were open the door to describing past events, stories, and experiences. So stay with me, because we are just getting started. There to be in the past and future. So far we have explored there to be in the present tense with there is and there are. Now let's take a step into the past. When we want to describe something that existed, that was present, that was part of a past moment, we use there was singular past. There were plural past. This is exactly like there is, there are. But it moves everything back in time. Basic examples in the past. There was a party last night. There were many people at the party. There was a problem with the computer. There were 3 calls from your friend. Simple, right? We are just telling what existed before. Contractions in the past, yes. Contractions also exist here. In real life, people don't say there was not. They say there wasn't examples. There wasn't a meeting yesterday. There wasn't a single mistake. And for plural, there weren't many people in class. There weren't any buses on Sunday. Listen carefully. There weren't. It may be a little hard to pronounce, but it's very common. Questions in the past, to ask about the past. We simply change the order again. Was there a concert yesterday? Were there many students in class? Was there any food left? Were there any problems? This is how we ask about past situations. Everyday dialogue in the past. Let's imagine a conversation.
Was there a lot of traffic this morning?
Yes, there was. It was terrible.
Were there any accidents?
Yes, there were 2 small accidents.
Another example.
Was there a test yesterday?
No, there wasn't.
Were there many students in class?
Yes, there were about 20.
See how natural this is? We simply move from is, are to was, were, describing past situations. Now let's describe a scene from yesterday. Yesterday I went to the park. There were a lot of people enjoying the sunshine. There was a man playing the guitar. There were children running and laughing. There were dogs chasing balls. There was music. There was laughter. There was life. This is how you use there to be to paint pictures of the past. Storytelling with there was, there were. Imagine. You are telling a story. Last night, there was a storm. There was lightning in the sky. There was heavy rain. There were strong winds. There were trees falling on the road. There wasn't any electricity in the houses. It was a dramatic night. Notice how powerful this structure is for storytelling. Practice questions for the past. Try answering these. Was there a movie on TV yesterday? Were there many emails in your inbox this morning? Was there a meeting at work last week? Were there any interesting events in your city last month? Was there a problem with your internet yesterday? These help you practice. Transition to the future. We've seen how to use there to be in the present and the past. Now let's move to the future. When we talk about something that will exist, something that will happen, something that is expected, we use there will be future. This is the most common and natural way. Basic examples in the future. There will be a meeting tomorrow. There will be many people at the wedding. There will be a new restaurant in town soon. There will be problems if we don't act now. Notice how we are predicting, announcing, or planning future existence. Negative form in the future. Just like before, we add not. There will not be a class next week. There will not be enough time. In contractions, there won't be a class next week. There won't be enough food for everyone. Won't is very common in conversation. Questions in the future to ask, we move. The order. Will there be a party on Friday? Will there be many students in class tomorrow? Will there be any buses after midnight? Will there be problems with the project? These are everyday questions about the future. Everyday conversations in the future, let's imagine.
Will there be food at the meeting?
Yes, there will be sandwiches and drinks.
Great. Will there be many people?
No, there won't be too many.
See how easy it is. Going to be in the future besides will, we also use going to for the future. This is also very common in daily speech. There is going to be a concert next week. There are going to be many new students. There isn't going to be enough time. Are there going to be any questions? This structure feels more informal, more certain, like a plan. Storytelling in the future now. Imagine you are telling about tomorrow. Tomorrow there will be a festival in the park. There will be music. There will be dancing. There will be food trucks. There will be people from different places. There won't be any boredom. It is going to be a wonderful day. Practice questions for the future. Will there be school tomorrow? Will there be a test next week? Will there be a new product in the store soon? Is there going to be a concert in your city? Are there going to be any changes at work? Practice your answers. Summary of past and future. So now we have 3 points in. Time, present, there is, there are, past, there was, there were, future, there will be, there is going to be. With these, you can describe life across time. You can describe what exists now, what existed before, and what will exist later. This gives you the power to tell stories, ask questions, and make plans. Transition to continuation. We are building step by step. First, the present, then the past, then the future. But there to be can go even further. It connects to continuous forms, to perfect forms, to all the ways English expresses existence and events. And in the next continuation, we will take this exploration even deeper. We will look at there has been, there had been, there will have been, and how these advanced forms appear in real speech. So stay ready, because our journey with there to be is far from over. There has been, there had been, there will have been. So far, we have learned how to describe existence in the present, past, and future. But English has other ways of expressing time. Sometimes, we don't just want to say what is, what was, or what will be. We want to say something has happened up until now, or before another moment, or by a certain point in the future. That's where the perfect forms of there to be come in. Let's go step by step. There has been, there have been. Present. Perfect. We use there has been and there have been to talk about things that started in the past and are still relevant now, or things that happened at some indefinite time before now. There has been singular or uncountable. There have been plural. Examples. There has been a mistake. There have been many changes in the company. There has been an accident on the road. There have been several emails today. Contractions. In natural speech, there's been a mistake. There's been a problem. This is very common. Instead of there has been, people just say there's been. Negative form. There has not been any trouble. There haven't been many questions. Contractions. There hasn't been any trouble. There haven't been many problems. Questions. Has there been a mistake? Have there been many visitors? Has there been any news? Have there been many accidents this week? These are very common in conversation, especially in news, reports, or everyday updates. Everyday dialogue.
Has there been a delay with the flight?
Yes, there has. 2 hours.
Oh no, have there been many cancellations?
Yes, there have been several today.
See how natural this sounds? Storytelling with there has been. Imagine a news report. There has been a rise in prices recently. There have been protests in the city. There has been concern among the citizens. There have been discussions in the government. This is how English speakers describe situations that continue into the present. There had been. Past perfect now. Let's move to the past perfect. We use there had been when we want to talk about something that existed before another past event. It shows the sequence of time. Examples. There had been an error before they corrected it. There had been many warnings, but nobody listened. There had been a storm before the sun came out. There had been some confusion before the meeting started. Negative form. There hadn't been any problems before. There hadn't been much discussion, questions. Had there been any signs of trouble? Had there been a mistake earlier? Had there been many visitors before we arrived? Had there been enough preparation? Everyday dialogue.
Was the trip difficult?
Yes, there had been a lot of rain before we left.
Oh really? Had there been any warnings?
Yes, there had been several, but we decided to go anyway.
Storytelling with there had been. Let's picture a memory. When I arrived at the party, there had been music playing, but it had already stopped. There had been many people, but some had already left. There had been food on the table, but most of it was gone. It felt like I was late to everything. This is how there had been helps describe the background of past events. There will have been, future perfect. Finally, let's go into the future perfect. This is more advanced but very powerful. We use there will have been to describe something that will be completed by a certain point in the future. Examples. By next year, there will have been many changes. By the end of the day, there will have been 3 meetings. By the time you arrive, there will have been several calls. By 2030, there will have been big advances in technology, negative form. There will not have been enough preparation. There won't have been many opportunities. Questions. Will there have been enough food by the time they arrive? Will there have been many changes by next year? Will there have been progress by the deadline? Everyday dialogue.
By the end of the month, will there have been enough training sessions?
Yes, there will have been 5 sessions.
Great. Will there have been any evaluations?
Yes, there will have been 2 tests.
Storytelling with there will have been. Imagine you are making a prediction. By the time the festival ends, there will have been thousands of visitors. There will have been music, there will have been dancing, there will have been joy. And by the last day, there will have been memories for everyone to take home. This is how the future perfect lets us see ahead in time. Review of all forms. Let's quickly summarize. There have been, up to now, present perfect. There had been, before another past moment, past perfect. There will have been, by a certain point in the future, future perfect. These forms are essential for advanced English, for news reports, storytelling, and predictions. Now you can see how there to be connects to all dimensions of time, from the present to the past to the future, and now to the perfect forms that show continuity, sequence, and completion. Thank you so much for watching today's lesson here on Everyday English in Canada. I hope this video helped you learn something new and practice your English in a clear and simple way. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to hit the like button, share this video with your friends, and leave a comment below to let us know your thoughts. And of course, make sure you are subscribed to Everyday English in Canada so you don't miss our next lessons. Keep practicing every day, and remember, your English will grow step by step. See you in the next video.